Hi, I'd like to continue on these reflections and insights on how to bring simple Dhamma in daily life. And the reason is manifold. The first one is that it becomes aseptic to consider that as a lay person to practice only and exclusively in a secluded area will bring significant transformation over a very short period of time. That cannot happen. Speaking with bhikkhus and bhikkhunis over a number of years, who've spent a number of years in monasteries, which are what I refer to as secluded environment, protected environment where all the conditions are gathered to actually spend time in contemplation and reflections, and even if there is a lot of work to be done and practical work such as maintenance and other daily activities, the majority of the daytime and sometimes the nighttime is spent into meditating and chanting. Even there, they will tell you that it may take quite a while to reach to a certain level of so-called samadhi, so-called samatha being peaceful mind. Because vipassana, which also is translated as mindfulness, yes, but investigation of the mind takes time. Transformation can't happen overnight. So that's one of the reasons. The second one is I'm often asked, what's the point of practicing Buddhism for daily life? What's the point of remaining a layperson, not wanting to go to a monastery and to continue to bring the benefits of the practice from in the secluded area into daily life? And this connects as well to my previous video where I was talking about simple Dhamma in daily life as a matter of the type of jobs and the type of activities that can sustain and help the monastic sangha in their daily activities. Beside that, there also is the fact of simply having a normal life, or a life that is just as a layperson, having a job in a corporation, being a CEO, or having a company, having a family, having to drive in traffic, and having to deal with non-like-minded person. This is where the nerve of the whole container of the practice, that's where it is. That's where we test. That's where we put the meditation practice into action. That's where the teachings become real. They have a human dimension. Otherwise, it's like floating in the air. It's beautiful teachings that are just not practical. So I'm suggesting always to connect and use this bridge of the daily life as a matter of seeing how these teachings are actually very practical. Breathing, for instance, pausing, non-harming, maintaining correct speech, not letting go of jealousies, not letting go of wrong or inappropriate language in certain, and calming down and take life as it is, because it's like this, that the true nature of reality brings difficulties. It doesn't serve much to continue to try to bump into a wall and try to say, I would like this person to hear me. I would like this person to not react like this when I send that type of email. I would like the CEO to resign and I will be the CEO. These things don't just happen just like that. These things are part of a sort of wanting to transform the reality to make it suitable and to my needs. But that's not how it works. It doesn't work like that. So there are a number of pointers into the practice that can be transformed and that we can bring along in our daily life so as to make it simpler for ourselves. One of them is developing patience. These are called parami. In Theravada Buddhism, there are 10 parami. In other practices, such as in Zen practice, there are 6 parami, but it's not the number of paramitas that make the difference. It's the resolve, or it's the intention that is put as a foundation of following a certain type of spiritual path in life. But if we go back to the meanings, what does spiritual mean? It means having a sort of ethic in life that allows us to function in a socially acceptable way. What is this acceptable? Acceptable means not necessarily applying the norms we might not necessarily agree with, but being human, not killing, not stealing. It's not good. It's just not appropriate. Not talking harshly. It's not necessary. Not being violent. It's not necessary. Being too high on intoxicants also disrupts social environments, etc., etc. So I was talking about the parami, and the paramis are, for instance, patience. Be patient. Learn to wait. Learn to pause. Learn to breathe. Learn to wait. So now another parami, for instance, is generosity. Generosity of giving and generosity of thoughts. Generosity is expansive. It's about being kind, but not in a way of being it's being kind with the heart. It's being expansive with the heart, not necessarily for receiving anything in return. Another important parami, for instance, is resolve. I resolve not to speak harshly. Just try that for one day. I resolve to patiently wait for someone to finish their sentence before I engage, or I give my opinion, or I exchange, or I speak as well. Just try for one day and start investigating how this works for you in daily life. That's where the transformation comes. That's where we can influence our patterns of habits, our patterns of behaviors, and start changing. And this is where we learn from, not necessarily from mistakes, but we learn from higher teachings. I'm often asked questions about Buddhism. I have friends who want to know a number of things. They ask me, they ask me a lot of questions, and I'm always very happy to respond, because it's been part of my reality for a long time, but in particular in the past few years, since my daughter passed away, I've been exploring a number of texts, and that's where I find peace. That's what I would like my environment to be exclusively made of this. And one of my purpose is to help others understand. So now I'm not an ordained nun, and I'm still a lay person. However, I think I have reached a point where I really would like to start explaining a number of things from the Dhamma. I would like to help others help themselves understand why this has been important for me, how it can also help others in maybe lighter situations than mine. As I said in my other video, the loss of the child, the departure of a child is obviously life-changing in many ways, probably to another extreme of having, for instance, the birth of a child in a family or for a woman changes the whole reality, but the loss of a child doesn't bring the reality back to zero, to where it started without a child, because not only because there's a presence that is absent now, but because for the woman there is the having given life that has disappeared from inside the body. It's a body-to-body relations, and it's a mind-to-body relation. It's a very deep one. And as a matter of fact, the story of Kisa Gautami, which I explained in the other video, is a very valuable one, because it's a child and it's a mother. So it doesn't have to be hard for everyone. It can be simply the loss of a job, or it can be other types of difficulties. So I would like actually to initiate a thread of Q&A on understanding how the Dhamma, or in other words, the teachings with a capital T, can be read and with a small lens as a small t, with a teaching. How can I apply that in everyday life? Simply, how can I understand certain things in my life through the lens of Buddhism? Why? Because Buddhism is very simple. It's a religion. Some like to call it a philosophy more than but still it's a religion, not in the sense, not a monotheistic religion. It's not a revealed religion, but yet it's a religion in the sense that it's institutionalized. Buddha didn't invent Buddhism. It is the evolution of the teachings that has created Buddhism. But Bud means knowledge. It means the one who knows. It means what investigation of the mind, if you want to put it this way. So the whole teachings of the Buddha, so the person who's been called the Buddha, have strong roots in the true nature of reality, and that's why they apply. That's why there is an attraction, and that's why they apply to daily life. So I would like to start the thread of Q&A and help others understand what has made my life possible after the departure of my child. I am sure can help many people understand this in their own life. So I will see you again. May you be at ease at all times. Thank you.